Hi, Katie.
Nice to see you again.
Hello, nice to see you. You look good, Katie.
Oh,
You look
you're so
so
kind. You look
young.
beautiful. What's up?
You look so young to have a son that old.
Well, I was 25 when I had him.
Yeah.
Most people around here start like when they're my age now.
Right, right, right.
So, hi, friends, and welcome back to Documented Healing. Today, I'm in conversation with Margi Young, someone I've admired for years, not just for her leadership in the yoga and mindfulness world, but for the way she brings presence, steadiness, and deep care into the spaces she holds. I first took Margi's class years ago when I was practicing regularly. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. Let that pass.
Cry. You can just cry and
I'm gonna get a clean up. I first took Margi's class years ago when I was practicing regularly with a couple of other teachers. Her class, then called Yoga and Mindfulness, or sometimes Yoga and Meditation. I'm not sure which one.
you never know what it's called.
It's one of those. I liked it for that reason.
I think it was yoga and meditation. Yes,
Yoga and
that's what it was
meditation.
called.
That was one I would drop into occasionally. At the time, I appreciated how she brought yoga philosophy into the body clearly and thoughtfully. She didn't overshare, but when she did speak from personal experience, it was always meaningful.
Cutie, Katie. I want to wrap my arms around you.
It's because this next part's kind of vulnerable, but I think it's kind of important and
Okay.
brings like some contact. That's what I'm practicing, and it's pushing me a little bit.
Okay.
And just as important, there was humor, there was joy, a kind of lightness that never felt forced but deeply earned. Her classes offered space to feel everything and also moments to laugh and soften and let breath lead. Later, life took a turn. I moved out of state, trying to escape a painful chapter, trying to find a safer place after reporting that I'd been assaulted. But I lost custody of my two adolescent boys and had to return. That return was devastating. I became withdrawn, I isolated myself, and then the pandemic hit. Eventually, I moved back into the neighborhood, studios began reopening, and I started going to Margi's class more regularly. I remember one day she shared briefly that she was grieving the loss of her mother. That small moment of honesty meant a lot to me. It helped me feel more at ease being in the room with my own pain. She didn't need to explain or elaborate, just naming it helped soften the space. Margi teaches yoga in the San Francisco Bay Area and leads retreats and trainings all over the world. From Bali to Brazil to Berkeley, she's been named one of the most influential yoga teachers in the US, and she holds certifications in restorative yoga, mindfulness, craniosacral therapy, and more. But what I keep coming back to is how she holds space with clarity, with warmth, with joy, and with a kind of groundedness that helps you return to yourself. Our paths have crossed in different ways off the mat, from protests to fundraiser in our home to sound healing sessions at mine. Then we traveled to India together, and hopefully some funny moments from that trip might come up today. In this conversation, we talk about movement, witnessing, creative flow, teaching, activism, and what it means to keep showing up for ourselves and for each other, even when the world feels heavy. Let's dive in.
Hang on. Stay here. Stay there for 1 second. Your intro reminded me of this. Someone just sent me this poster that I was thinking about
Oh, yeah? Let's see.
replacing.
Oh, or next to works.
Or next to keep showing up. How good is that?
Yes, that's great. Oh, that's what we have to do.
I know exactly. It's perfect.
Good timing. It's a nice design, too.
Yeah, it's from some artist in Portland.
Okay, very cool. I learned that you started yoga or becoming curious about yoga through witnessing a friend who it had helped a lot, if I'm naming that correctly.
Yes.
And you were in the dance world at the time.
I was lightly in the dance world. It was a long time ago. I guess, no, I'm sorry. I was in the dance world. It was like when I was, I don't know, my first yoga class, I must have been a late teenager, and I went with my mom, and I had such a good time. I just thought it was the weirdest thing in the world. And we were the only two people in class. Afterwards, I remember feeling so free. I had that yoga dope. My friend calls it yoga dope. But I had it. I was just like, I don't know what just happened to me, but I feel like I've never been so happy in my life. But I didn't go back because yoga wasn't all over the place. It wasn't like a thing. So I was like, okay, that was that. It was fun. It was amazing. It like planted a little seed. And then a few years later, I was studying dance and in the dance world in the Bay Area. And a friend of mine lost her mother tragically and looked at all different avenues for healing. And yoga was the thing that sort of brought her back into her body and into herself and into her healing process. So I tagged along with her. She was in Rodney's teacher training, and I tagged along with her to the yoga teacher training. And again, after that, it was like a 3 hour training. I remember it was like from 6 to 9. And I told you last time, after that training, I was just like, I want some kale. And it was before, again, before kale was everywhere. So it was like, wait, I just like my body just craved this something like better, more healthy, more sort of sustainable life. So it started then. And just to know, to see it help someone else so much. And I just loved to move and I loved to breathe. And it was always really nice to get away from the mirrors of a yoga studio.
Or you mean a dance studio?
I mean, yes, thank you. I mean, a dance studio. It's nice to get away from those mirrors and just like drop in. And yeah, I explored a lot of different styles of yoga and kinds of yoga, and it's always been very intriguing to me.
Well, that's really wonderful that it sounds like you were kind of supporting your friend and going along and
Yeah.
getting a lot out of it as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Totally.
Yeah. I don't know if you can expand a little bit about like what did you see how it manifested in her? Like what made you think it was really helpful for her? Like was it physical? Was it
I think what she
emotion?
told me, we talk a lot to this day. We talk a lot. So I think it was what she told me. She gets very deep into what she's doing, this particular friend, and she just got really deep into it. And it was from a lot of conversation that it's been a long time ago. It's a little blurry, but it was just like a conversation. And like she fell in love with yoga, and that helped, move her mind away from the tragedy of losing her mom at a young age.
Hmm. Well,
And then I had yoga, as I told you, that I had yoga. I just loved it. I thought it was fun and interesting. And then when things started to get difficult in my life, I had the yoga like right there to hold me. So I didn't come to yoga from trauma. I came from supporting a friend and just kind of curiosity. And then when I felt like I had trauma in my life, it was there too. It just felt like I'm doing this gesture, but it just really felt like two hands came underneath me and kind of held me. Like I'll never forget after my dad died, like 2 days, he was dying for a long time. So it wasn't a huge shock, but it's always seems to be shocking at the end. But like 2 days later, I was teaching a retreat in Mexico and I decided to still go. And just remember laying out my mat and putting my hands down on my mat and going into downward dog. And it was just like, oh, down dog. Like I know everything in my life seems like a fucking mess, but down dog, I know. I can rest in my body in this pose. Downward dog, the sadness, the grief I was experiencing, it can move through my dog, but it's not my dog pose, my yoga poses. I could just be with my body and be with my breath. I especially remember just like planting my hands and be like, earth, earth, earth,
yeah.
steadying my quivering heart.
Yeah. A lot of groundedness, a lot of practice with being, knowing how to ground.
Yeah.
I mean, even just in those moments I was reading my intro, I was like, your feet, put them in the floor. Like,
Totally.
try, keep trying,
Keep trying.
keep trying.
Yeah. Well, I was saying in class yesterday, I was like, even if you don't want to, bring your attention to your body. Even if you don't want to do it right now, bring your attention to your breath. Like that's what you need to do, especially when you don't really want to do it because your mind is frazzled.
Oh my goodness, it's such a important practice. It's
It is.
it's
It's everything.
we had talked a little bit last time about, taking that into a context that's different. We went to India, for example, and we have the stresses and things we can't control in our lives here, but then going somewhere else and having additional stimuli um, was also an interesting practice. And we had some fun with it in the park. And I thought that the story of, the listen to your soul
Yeah,
pose, and maybe you could talk a little bit about like how
that
that
moment.
interaction went with the other people in the park, because like not only were we learning these, like, like we're grounding, we're paying attention to our bodies, but suddenly we're also in connection with people in this place that we've never been to.
Yeah. Do you remember the name of the park?
I have a picture of it. It's in Delhi.
That's in Delhi.
um I have a picture of it, that the sign.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, I can't remember the name of the park, but when we walked in, there were people I feel like there was an aerobics class and like a Tai Chi class, and then we happened to set up near somebody else doing a yoga class. And then at one point, I'm a person who like really takes in my atmosphere and gets influenced by what's around me. So at one point, the people in the other class were like sitting and holding their foot and like pulling their foot up towards their ear. So I was like, all right, I guess that's what we're doing. So I did it. And then I got worried that they were going to like think that we were making fun of them or something. So I was like, hi. Uh, maybe I did I have maybe a Manuk art guide translate, like, we're doing what you're doing. We're all doing yoga or something like that. And then I believe shortly thereafter, like did a move that you remembered that you
Yeah.
picked that we were doing.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was this,
yeah.
oh my God, it's so precious to have this connection to people. We didn't speak the same language. We have such different lives, different cultures, yet there we were in the yoga together, sharing these movements and laughing. We were all laughing about it too, in a really connected way.
That was a really sweet memory. Yeah.
All my pictures from Varanasi just popped up on my phone
Oh,
today.
really?
Oh, it's like, did that really time and travel? It's so strange. Like that really happened. Like that happened. We got to see that extraordinary place from the boat and the walking in this through all those people down those crowded streets with remember the ascetics who had like white faces, the hermits, like
Yeah.
faces and the braids and the color. It was just,
And the chanting, right? That was really
yes.
moving. Like as you walk down, all the music was.
They were smearing like paint on our faces, and it was a whole like immersive situation. That was like one of the most incredible days of my life. Varanasi.
I know. I'm glad you mentioned it, because I was looking at my pictures. I hadn't even gotten to Varanasi yet. I forgot about Varanasi, and then it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So for those who aren't familiar with Varanasi or India, it's a very special site in India, spiritual kind of Mecca, where people go to have a ceremony around death. And we got to witness it on the river. And for me, it was like powerful to witness that aspect of life. It was somewhat public, but also very sacred, and also very part of just like the mundane almost.
Yes.
So how would you like describe it?
Yeah.
Your understanding of it. I can't say that I have a full understanding of it, but
Well, it was so interesting because it's an honor to burn at Varanasi. Like that's an honor, and I believe that they believe that that will pull people out of the samsara of life, like the suffering cycle of life, if you're able to have your body burned at Varanasi. So family members, I think they wrap the dead bodies in white cloth and they carry them. They used to carry them on foot for hundreds of thousands or hundreds of miles, but they probably drive now. Anyway, but then to get to these pyres, they carry the bodies and they throw the bodies into the fire. And then remember, I think for a woman, it was the pelvis.
um,
And for a man, it was the femur. They would take these big bones, one bone from the body, and like walk it down to the river and throw it into the river. And then afterwards, they like bathe in the river and the Ganges. And it's very dirty according to our standards. Like very, like they say, do not get in there. You will definitely get sick. But people there are just splashing and in the water, kind of celebrating. So it's just so different culturally how they treat death. Just right there. and then the tourists gawking from the boats.
Right, which,
But when,
yeah.
it was not really gawking feeling because there you have, I
Well,
mean,
there's a feeling of sacredness that kind of settles, but
totally.
it's still, somewhat public. We are not, you know, native to the culture. And yeah, we're onlookers.
Yes. Yes. I did feel there's like a level that on our boat, there was just like this level of awe that all of my students had communally, and there were lots of tears and hand holding and um, just respect galore. That's why the word gawking like really didn't, I said it, but that's not what I meant at all. There was just a feeling of we're here,
For
almost like
sure.
we're holding our boat here in honor of your beloved deceased.
And how much they made us feel blessed while we were doing that. They were offering us blessings. And yeah,
Yes.
that was really amazing. Yeah.
Yes. Totally. Totally.
Uh,
Highly recommended.
Highly recommend.
The
Yes. So the
experience.
experience was amazing. I wanted to go to India. You were my link to it because you were offering it at the right time, and I felt comfortable enough to go with you. And it's not something I would do on my own. Some people are adventurous and would just go. I would never do that. So
It was a tricky place to be.
yeah.
Yeah. I was glad
And
to have international yoga. And Manuk, we had that incredible, cute guide.
he was awesome. Yes.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
knowledgeable.
We talked a little bit about how different that was from your most recent trip, like
Oh yeah.
because you
Japan,
do a
I
lot
just
of different retreats, right? So that's one of your things that you do is retreats.
yeah, I really love teaching retreats. Although there's the retreat, and also I don't call the trip that you went on necessarily a retreat because
You're
we don't,
right. You're right. You're right.
we're doing the opposite actually as retreating. So there are retreats where I take people to, quiet places and we do a lot of practice and journaling and meditating and pranayama breathing. But the trip that you went on and Japan that I was just on and Peru that I'm going on next, they're adventure vacations. When you say like a spiritual pilgrimage almost. India felt like that. We're just like we're there. We're tourists seeing a foreign land. And then to be able to be with me and a group of people who all are interested in yoga and travel. So you have some buddies just worked into the group, and we're using the yoga as we always use the yoga, but it's a little bit heightened just to be really present in the body, to be more at ease and just connected as we see the world, the greater world. It's fun.
So you just got back from Japan and maybe speak to how different that was from India a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. They could not be different culturally. Um, India was just so much. It was just so much. All the sense overload was insane sometimes. And Japan is kind of like everything is quiet. There aren't like bright colors beaming out at you. There are fabulous outfits. Don't get me wrong. But there aren't like India was so colorful and
Um,
Japan is more subtle. And you can be in the most crowded intersection in Japan. Nobody steps into the street until the light turns green. And in India, there are like cows and people,
yeah.
everything everywhere going diagonal at all times. It's like so orderly. So nobody steps out until the light turns green. When the light turns green, you might be with like at this one crossing, I think I don't know. Is it like 3,000 people that cross? I want to look it up. We should look it up. 3,000, like a lot of people cross this one street at every time the light turns green. And then when it turns red, everyone's like stops because or they get to where they're going and then they go on and then the cars go. And it's totally quiet. That's my point. It's like so many people and people do not talk. And when you get onto the train, my students are sometimes like, I'm like, nobody else is talking. Our
Oh,
voice is quiet. I had to do like train meditations because nobody talks on the train. And I'm a very hyper sensitive person around entering
um,
other cultures and being respectful.
and You're getting ready to go to Peru soon too, aren't you? Or next year? Is it next year?
Next May, so there's some time, but that's my next big trip with international yoga. And I was in Peru when I was 7. I don't remember much. I remember a little bit. I remember they gave us cocaine tea and for the
Oh,
altitude.
mm-hmm.
That was pretty exciting at 7 years old. But maybe I was 10. I was young, so I'm excited to go back and see Machu Picchu and the place we're going to. Actually, Michelle, who owns International Yoga, is there right now, and she said it's just totally beautiful, kind of an eco resort. So I'm looking forward to being in a real yoga studio. In Japan, we there were no yoga studios. We just were moving from different space to
Oh,
different space. Yeah.
okay. Like how would people find out about it and stuff?
Oh, well, on my website is the best way. You can either go to my website, which is myname.com, or you could go to internationalyoga.com, I think, and they have lots of trips with lots of teachers all year long.
Margiyung.
.com,
Dot
exactly.
com. That's a spelling. Cool. And you were saying you also have some other things coming up, don't you?
I have a workshop, I believe it's July 15th, called Yoga for Difficult Times, online with a website called Movement for Modern Life, and it's based in the UK. And the owner of it, came on a retreat with me, a real retreat. It was many hours of yoga every day
Okay.
in Italy, and then she asked me to be on her site, and it's a really wonderful site, and I teach classes for them sometimes. So yeah, that's I'm going to pull all of my tools out of my toolbox about how to stay sane when things are insane, as seems to be happening.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I look forward to teaching that. I like the community there is really wonderful.
Good to know. Good to know about.
What else? There's a Nest Yoga teacher training coming up, so I'm excited about that. I'm co-teaching it with Leslie Howard. I really like teaching teacher trainings because it's fun to be with people for 4 months and just keep going deep into the subject in all different ways.
So are your teacher trainings like a general? Is this like I've never really looked into it. So like when you say teacher training, is it specialized in a certain aspect or is it just how would you describe it?
Well, it's a 200-hour teacher training, so it's level 1 yoga teacher training. So we're kind of teaching the nuts and bolts of how to sequence a yoga class, how to hold the space for yoga class, the alignment of the poses, how they fit together. And then the yoga philosophy is taught by Darren Main, and Richard Rosen, the guru of pranayama, is teaching the pranayama part. Nicole Chase is teaching the anatomy, and then Leslie and I are kind of the core teachers who are, teaching all of it, how to put it together. So, and some people take the training to become yoga teachers, and some people take the training just to know more about yoga. So both go. It is an experiential teacher training. So you will, if you took the training, you should take it, Katie. If you took the training, you do have to say, inhale, lift your arms, exhale, fold over, inhale, flat back. We teach you how to teach yoga, which is really quite an oral uh,
Tradition, yeah.
activity. So,
Practice.
to be a teacher these days,
Do you
it's
what
very different.
style of yoga would you say this is in? Like what
Yeah,
you're
it's a
more
great question. Well, hatha yoga is sort of an umbrella term. So I can easily say hatha yoga because that sort of, I don't know if you know this, but it's an umbrella term. Hatha basically means physical. So if you're doing a physical kind of yoga, it's hatha yoga. It's come to mean something different, but it's an umbrella term. But I'm going to say that we'll teach kind of how to teach a class kind of similar to how I teach, some kind of an arc, a theme, some flow. It's not super codified. Like we teach you to be
okay.
you. We teach
Yeah,
you to,
I usually go for the hatha classes that seem like that, but I know there's like Iyengar and like I
yeah.
don't even know if I'm saying it right.
Ashtanga, yeah, Iyengar, Ashtanga. Those are some of the bigger ones. Yeah, I mean, it all weaves in. I feel like those are so pure and they still exist. And there are Iyengar classes, there are Ashtanga classes, but most of us are some kind of a hybrid of it all at this
I
point.
see. Okay. So it kind of like
A ton of Iyengar.
curates. Does it kind of curate different styles or
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I, for example, have studied a ton of Iyengar yoga, a ton, and Iyengar yoga is very, very rigid,
disciplined? Yeah.
and disciplined. And the alignment is genius. The alignment is genius. But I couldn't go into being an Iyengar teacher because it's just so different than who I am. Like I'm not that bossy or I'm not that
Yeah.
particular. There, it's very
Okay.
codified. So anyway, I took the wisdom. I loved the classes, and since I am a little bit of a loose person, it was good for me to be in these super strict classes. It was a really good thing that I did. And then I would take what I learned from there and move it into my teacher training, which was in the Om Yoga style, which is flowing, alignment, breath, mindfulness, and kind of wove it all together. So but I've
Okay.
also studied Ashtanga, and that's, the basic sun salutation comes from the Ashtanga system. Every Ashtanga class starts with five Surya Namaskar A into five Surya Namaskar B, and then a series of standing poses. It's a it's a sequence.
Yes,
It's cool, but it's hard.
I see. Yeah, I really enjoy being a yoga student, a student of yoga, but I can't say that I'm ever been really into fine or nitpicking any of thing. I just like the experience the teachers bring, and
Yeah.
that's what helps me.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people on our trip have had taken your yoga teacher training for personal enrichment and just to get more deeply into like, the practices and so forth. So that was cool to see.
Yeah.
Like over the years, all of the people that were like, oh yeah, I took Margi's teacher training. I took
Yeah,
Margi's.
that was cool.
Yeah. It's like, I didn't know you had that. I didn't know you did that. Oh, cool.
It's so fun to have been teaching for so long, and then people just come out of the woodwork. It's fun. I've actually thought about offering a free, like some free couple free or a free restorative class or like quiet class online just to like pull people back. When I do that, it's just so fun because I haven't done
Oh,
it for feel like years now, but it's just interesting who pops up.
it's like mini reunions. Like
Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely.
the other thing that I thought was cute that we were talking about was our Mills connection, and that you actually did study dance there and you're interested in doing a little bit more choreography. Was that just the other day? Are you
I
still
was gonna
interested in
say,
that?
no, 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 I actually am, but I'm interested. I told you that I was just having like a little bit of a blue moment, and I called a friend from Mills, a really good friend of mine, and she's like, "Why don't you just go choreograph something?" I'm like, "Choreograph something? I haven't been a dancer for like 20 years." Or like a choreographer. But then I really love that idea of, oh yeah, well I can just throw together a sequence of weird movements, or I can like choreograph. And then I thought I'm going to think about choreography loosely, like I'm going to choreograph a meal. I'm going to
Oh,
choreograph a different kind of yoga sequence, even though I already choreographed my yoga sequences fairly tightly in a fairly like crafty way, I would
yeah,
say.
I would say
But
unique and yeah.
yeah, but just expanding it a little bit or doing something different. I mean, I know I always do different things also, but just thinking about it as far as choreography, just I mean, I feel like creating art or creation is what makes me really happy. So,
Absolutely. I agree with you on that one. It's wonderful to just create and kind of get out of like scrolling.
totally, totally, exactly,
Do
exactly.
you what are some like do you ever get silly with it? Do you ever get onto TikTok and see the dances going on there? Would you ever do a TikTok dance?
I would love to do a TikTok dance.
You would?
I accept the challenge. I get a little, this
Let's
is
do it. There's a cute one. I
okay.
started learning it.
Send it to me.
Okay.
I get a little weird, like for about learning moves because I think my son is dyslexic, and I think I am dyslexic also. It's
Oh.
always really hard for me to learn combinations, and I still, even when you say that, I get a little nervous. I'm not going to be able to learn the combination.
Oh.
It's
I
post.
feel that way too. I feel so disoriented in a dance class.
Yeah.
It's weird because, like, as a pianist, I feel like I know my right and left really well, but when you add all
Yes.
these other elements,
It's
I get
hard.
mixed up a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. But then once I learn it, I know it for the rest of my life. Like I could definitely do sequences that I learned so many years ago. So I love the process of learning. The process of learning is really cool to like be like, no way, wait, what? Is it that? Is it that? Is it that? And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah.
Right, right.
I put it together.
What are some of your favorite sounds to put movement to, would you
Oh,
say?
I mean, I love like Philip Glass,
Oh, no way.
some of those like modern composers, Julia Wolf. I don't know if you know who that is. Bang on a
I'm,
Can. I used to choreograph to these kind of modern,
oh,
postmodern. But then these days, I like to just put on hip hop and
right,
dance music.
right, just for funsies. And
Yeah,
the other stuff is seems more serious, so,
totally.
but also beautiful and wonderful to be in like that space.
Yeah, during the pandemic, you can go way back, scroll way back on my Instagram feed that my son was young, like 11, so this was not self-conscious, and we would just dance in the kitchen, and we had a really good time dancing in the kitchen at the beginning of the pandemic, and I made some cute Instagram videos.
Will he still dance with you? Yeah, I asked my son today, let's do a dance. He's like, no.
Uh, I'm in the interfaith gospel choir, and I've just been in it for a while, and we had our first performance, and everybody in the audience is like, wow,
Oh, that's
and Finn is standing totally still. Anyway, it's fine.
this is self-conscious age, I think,
Yes,
for
I was so glad that he came.
well, that's yeah. I think that's awesome that you're in the interfaith choir.
It's
Think-
so fun, Katie. You should join.
Yeah, you sparked a little something in me because I have something in me that wants to join a choir, but then I always don't want to be that committed. So
Did I tell you it's just like once a month we practice?
no
It's
way.
very light.
Sweet.
It's
Okay, now you're on to something. Which one are you? Well, you could tell me later which one you're in.
it's just called the Oakland Interfaith Gospel Choir.
I thought they had several different like,
Oh, maybe. I'm in the community choir. I'm in the
oh, good to know.
yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
It's low commitment. So we almost never rehearse. Maybe more than once a month, but like no more than twice a month.
And is it like really centered on like, well, it's obviously gospel, but is world music part of it at all, or is it all
I
gospel music?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure, but does it seem religious?
Yes, it seems religious, but there's a huge emphasis that you can be any religion, you can be atheist. We welcome everybody. The welcoming atmosphere is amazing, but we do sing about God. So that might be challenging for some people.
I mean, yeah.
I
It
mean,
seems like a joyful group, and the intention is to be like to build compassion, community, tolerance, and it's an interfaith choir. I don't know. That's my impression that
yes.
it's a good
There are a lot
environment.
of, it is very God oriented, the songs, but they definitely emphasize that God can be anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even a woman?
Yeah, I think so. I would say. I mean, it's very open and it's very diverse.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. It's really cool. I am just on high after practice for like 24 hours.
I'll have to look into that because I think singing is a really good practice to be in community too.
We start up again in late August.
Okay, late August. Sounds good. I think we're getting to where we should probably close because I don't
Okay.
want to take too much of your time, but I love being in conversation with you and I appreciate everything that you bring three
Thank
times a week at least to,
Yes, thank you so much.
that I could always drop into.
I'm always happy
Um,
when you show up.
yeah, I try to get there at least once a week. And I was wondering if you could share anything to close us out to kind of meditate on or that
Mm.
might stay with us. I think last time you did it really nicely. You just said long exhale.
I said long exhale.
And I did come back to that after the episode was lost. I
Yeah.
was like,
Today I have a quote in my brain from Rumi. Did I say it in class? Were you there yesterday?
I was there. I don't recall a Rumi quote. What was it
I
though?
said it when you all were in Shavasana. You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the whole ocean in a drop. Okay. Long
Beautiful.
exhale, ground, just keep moving. Hang on, let me get my poster out again.
And do your TikTok dance. Oh, I'm going to send you a TikTok dance.
Do your TikTok dance and keep
Keep
showing up,
showing up.
whatever that means to you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Margie.
Dun, ta-da.
I will be seeing you soon.
Cool. I hope you have a good weekend.
You too. Come for a sound healing.
Oh, I will.
You will. And
Sure.
then I'll make sure my dog is out of the house when you're here.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye
Bye.
bye.